the first of many videos that I'm going to be doing to help you get to grips with some of the, there's lots of Photoshop tutorials out there, but we can do them generally just as easily most of the time in Gimp. So that's what this series of videos is going to be covering. Sometimes you spend like hours following tutorials and it's going well, and then you get to one step and you just don't get it or can't get it to work, and all that time you feel it's been wasted. So by having a video like this that will walk you through the steps should help quite a bit and clarify things up. Right, this is what we're going to be making. It's a cool, colourful, glowing text effect, as you can see here. It's quite easy to do, and the original tutorial comes from a website called Tutorial 9, which it's a good website. They've got lots of tutorials on it for Photoshop and most of the Adobe suite. So if you've got a bit of spare time, I'll check that out. It's quite a good site. So right, here we go. This is what first thing you're going to need to do is make a new image. I've chosen 800 by 640. Doesn't really matter as long as you've got enough space. Right, there we go. First things first, we want to get the background colour right. Now we want a colour that's not completely black, but still quite dark. So it's kind of really dark purple. It's quite good. 120612. That's the HTML notation if you want to know that. I also put all of the colours we need in the information bar. So bucket fill on the background layer. There you go. Next thing, you want to create text. So when doing this, it's important that we make a separate text layer for each of the letters in the text. Text can be anything you want, but just make sure you do each letter separately. I'm just going to use the word Gimp, Gimp 2.6. So I'll see, change the colour to white. There we go. I'm using the font Century Gothic as well, and I've set my size to 122 pixels. If we just set the main foreground colour to white, we're going to have to keep changing that. So we get that. There's the eye. New layer. We want a kind of condensed effect, so if you move them so they're a bit overlapped, like so, that's the effect we're going for. Line it up nicely. There we go, looks about right. P. There we go. They're not completely aligned, but obviously if you want to do it, spend a bit of time doing that. I'm just trying to rush it in here. There we go. 2. Point. Where is it? There it is. I'll do for the time being. 6. Okay, so that's our basic text. Next step we'll do is create a new layer. So you can do this by pressing Ctrl+Shift+N if you're on Windows, or you can go to Layer, New Layer. Let's call this layer a gradient. There we go. Now I've already got white selected as our foreground colour. What we want to do is we want to use the blend tool, make sure we change it to foreground to transparent, and then we're going to want to drag down from the top of the image, hold Control so it's a nice straight line, and let go. And we want the gradient at this area here to be over text, so it's not too transparent, it's not too opaque. That's about good. Now this is where we start making the real text. So what we're going to do is, for each of these layers, you're going to create a new layer, and I'm going to call this one G gradient. Now what you do is you click on the original G text layer, you right click, click text to selection, then we're going to go up to our gradient layer and we're going to copy. You can do it like this, or you can press Ctrl C back to the G gradient layer that we just created, and we're going to paste. So either Ctrl V or whatever you like. And now you get this little thing saying floating selection, pasted layer. If you right click that and click anchor layer. Now if we just turn off the original G layer, you can see we got a nice gradient G here. Now we're going to repeat this for each of the letters. Repeat that process for each letter, so I'm going to cut here, and when I come back, hopefully I'll have that done. Okay, here we go. You can see I've finished all of the gradient layers, and I've just turned off all the original text layers using the little eye symbol here. You can also turn off the gradient, and you can now see that's what we're left with. So yeah, it looks quite cool really, but let's add some colour now. So what we do is, for each of the text, we want to create a new layer. Let's call this one G color. And now what we do is we use the old text to selection again, so right click on the original text layer, text to selection. Back onto the G color, and let's change our foreground color. For this one I'm going to use this green, which is 7FFF5D. Again, you can find all these colours in the information box. Bucket tool, click in the selection, and there you have it. And now all we want to do is change the layer mode to screen. There you go. Now we're going to do this again for each of the letters using a different colour for each. So for example, the I, I'm going to use a yellow. Let's change this to, there you go, that yellow will do. And text selection on the original I, bucket tool, click, change it to screen. There we go. Now I'm going to do this for each of them. Obviously use the same process each time. Once I'm done, I'll come back again, and hopefully I'll have that done. And remember, you can, if you want to use the same colours, you can find all the colours in the information. Okay. You can see I've done that now. I've used the same colour on both the P and the 2. It's just nice to do that sometimes to break the pattern of change of colour each layer. Anyway, now we're going to start working on the glow. And to do this, first of all, we need to finalise our text and merge it all together. So we're going to merge together all of the colour layers and all of the gradient layers. And you can do this quite easily by, first of all, let's do the gradient ones. Let's turn off all of the layers that aren't gradient layers, so all the colour layers. There we go. All the colour layers. One more. So now we're just left with the gradient layers. I can't really see them, doesn't matter. Right click on any one of them and then put merge visible layers. I always do click to image. I don't know really why it comes out, because I'm pretty sure that's not bigger than an image anyway. So now we have one layer with just the gradient, you can see. There you go. Now we're going to want to do the same for the colour, but first we have to make sure turn all of them, turn the gradient one off, turn all the colours back to normal mode before we do this. It doesn't work properly if you leave it on screen for some reason. So make that visible, change that to normal, do this for each of them. It's a bit annoying I have to do this, but it doesn't take too long.